This is Matt with All Things Acura.
And this is Justin.
And you're Justin.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's been a little bit.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. I don't know if it's been a month.
Probably been a month.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We got a little bit behind. We apologize.
Got a little caught up in the holidays.
That's true.
Something.
The holidays.
I don't know what we got caught up in.
We're past the eating turkey holiday. And then we're coming up here on Christmas, depending on when you get it out. But hopefully we'll get this out.
Yeah, we'll have to get this done quick so you guys get the information.
Yeah, the goal was to get through, the goal of this one is basically going to be getting through what happened kind of in November, and then we're obviously wrapping up the end of the year here. So that's an important time of year for us. So that's what that's the goal of this one ultimately.
So we got some interesting things that we want to touch on in the Acura world. Let's talk. Should we?
Where do you want to start this one?
I don't know.
We had a lot to catch up on, and then some exciting things happened.
Let's start with the exciting stuff.
Okay.
NSX. Okay. Last one rolled off the line.
Yeah.
We're done. Over. I think it was the 10th. Was it the 10th?
Yeah, it was the 10th. Was it the 10th?
November
yeah, they
10th?
had that article that came out talking about the last one that rolled off the line. We were very fortunate enough to be able to sell two of those, one of which just happened actually the day before Thanksgiving. So, again, congratulations to Dustin on his NSX Type S. Just an awesome guy. The car was beautiful when it came in. He got the thermal orange.
Yeah, what a great color. I was a little skeptical. I will say I was the skeptic on that color.
Because
everybody wanted the Gotham gray, which God love it. It's Gotham gray.
It's called Gotham gray.
I think they like the name better than the color, and it looks great in that car.
Yeah,
but that orange.
Yeah, it was pretty sharp. It stood out. I know every other NSX we had
looking.
before was either the black or like the white ones.
Right?
I'm like, all right. But yeah, anyway, maybe you'll post a picture. I know we took some pictures. So
we could. So for the ones watching, we could throw up a picture. It's a great looking car.
It's a great looking car, and again, Dustin, super great guy. If you're watching this, man, thank you so much. Congratulations to you.
And anybody else that got their hands on one of those,
I know,
limited 300 run of NSX.
Yeah, it was interesting, and in fact, there was a time where I wasn't sure. I think he felt like he wasn't going to get it either. At one point.
I think he held his breath. I think till the day we said it's here, because I mean, as much as they kept him informed during the process, and he got to do the NSX Insider, which wow, what a neat. Go down to the plant and spend some time in the car at the plant, and that's a really neat experience. And I knew that they had that going on. I just. I guess we never had anybody really ask about it, and he inquired about it, and
that's true.
It was a really neat program. So he really got to learn a lot about the car, and it's kind of neat. He's one of those guys that probably will keep that car and just keep it forever. It's his toy, and it's not one of the other 50 in his collection, and this will just get
He could have the most miles on his NSX Type S. Honestly, that's just how he's gonna be doing it. But I really have to tip my cap to Acura. I know sometimes we give Acura flack on some things, which, in some cases rightfully so. But, he showed us some pictures, some videos of that entire thing. And they did a really good job, I thought, of catering to that clientele. Some little details, even down to like the bed sheet saying Acura on them. I think that was really nice.
Yeah, the hotel they put them at, it was well thought out.
Yeah.
I don't even remember if he showed me that when he came in, because he was so excited about all the other stuff. But it was...
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, and obviously that shows Acura's potential for what they are capable of in terms of providing that type of experience or level of experience.
Yeah, another thing you said, it was really interesting, and again, for everybody that remembers that the NSX is made at the PMC Performance Manufacturing Center, is hand built. We'll talk about the TLX coming up that's going to be produced there next, but those people are they're the top pick of the picks. So when they start a project like the NSX and they have that special place they build them, they go around, and I think you have to qualify and be selected to be part of that program to get to work on those cars, and the best of the best. And he said the interaction with those people was really, really neat, because it literally, I mean, you can walk down where they're working on the cars. Right. It's not so much of an assembly line like you think in a regular plant. It is. The car does move down a line, but it's it's real people. You and I just putting those things together.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's like stations almost.
Yeah, right? Expert technicians working. That's their specialty, their field, working on it.
Yeah.
The engine room. I mean, these guys are master engine builders,
Right.
and they're putting these things together. So it's really neat. And they got time to spend time with those people and learn about the car inside it. It's really neat. I mean,
for sure. And it just makes me go back to like why there's other sports or supercars that don't feel as nice to me. We have a truckload of Corvettes over here. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, I did see those coming in.
And so it's funny that they're here because I'm like, man, it's just a truckload of Corvettes. Whereas this one NSX comes rolling off a truck, and it's a different car. It's a different car.
It's just proof. Even by us being in the business, we have a whole campus here of 5 different stores. We have 250 people that work here, and an NSX comes and gets delivered. Half the staff is out looking at the NSX gets delivered. Like Matt said, a whole truckload of Corvettes just came in. And I don't think anybody was out there other than the poor driver taking that thing off the truck.
Right.
And they're like, would you hurry up and get that inside?
Right. And again, just going back, and we'll cut this conversation off about the NSX, but it is sad that they are cutting it off now because I really think that, unfortunately, this one hit its stride.
It goes back to the was 300 the right number?
Yeah.
I think they shot themselves a little short.
Like, oh, wait a second, people really like this.
Still could have been a very sought after car at 500, 750,
Sure.
Even 1,000.
1,000, yeah, right.
But obviously, during the time that they announced that, it was, whether they could build that many was probably up in the air. So that leads us right into the TLX Type S PMC edition. We're coming up on the final one here.
Yep. December 8th, mark your calendars for the blue.
Long Beach Blue Pearl, which, gotta say, I've never been a fan of that kind of blue. But I will say that car looks like, I think that's the one I'd almost have to get in that car.
Yeah, they're both pretty cool. The blue is obviously unique. Coming from like the Subaru background, Subaru had the WRX, and I cannot remember the name of the blue. But they did something similar. It was like a launch. Oh, maybe it was called Launch Blue. But anyway, they had the gold kind of wheels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it looked kind of like that. And I think I like that color combination. I know there's probably a lot of people who don't, but I think it looks really good. I would prefer this car any day over a WRX or STI, so I'm not going to even get into that. But yeah, it looks awesome in that color. And we apparently know the pricing now.
Yeah, and so Matt brought it up. We don't know the pricing. That's the interesting part. And I think maybe some of you guys do. If you do...
that's true, yeah.
Let us know how you found out. Put it in the comments. Let us know how you found out with the pricing. We actually just happened to be flipping through a Car and Driver article.
Right, yep.
And saw that Car and Driver knows that the price of the TLX Type S is going to come in at nearly $64,000.
Yeah, I was going to say that was about a week ago. It says published November 25th, which is... And I remember thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe you... Were you I don't remember if you were out of town at that point or not, but I remember seeing that and thinking, oh, maybe Justin knew and he just
I just didn't share that information.
But
now our Acura rep did say that they were going to be releasing this pricing soon, so I expected it, and I almost think that might have been not too far from that time. I might not have thought much when I saw the article.
Interesting. Okay.
And then I started looking for the pricing myself because I'm like, wow, is that right? $64,000 is what that's going to be. And then I started looking at it, and I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere.
Right. Well,
this is an Acura store.
It says it on the building.
It says it on the building.
Yeah.
And we don't have that pricing anywhere. We don't have any correspondence. But Car and Driver knows.
They know.
And hopefully they know it correctly. So at $64,000, it looks like it's going to be $7,550 more than a regular Type S.
Yeah.
So that's a good chunk of change. But a lot of times, I would say in a PMC, or the special edition, I would say, I don't know. Is that worth it? This being that it's a Type S PMC,
yep.
I think there is a little more merit to this.
Right.
And not to mention that it's such a limited quantity. There's going to be 100 of each color. That's it. Like on the planet, there's 100. So yeah, can they ask a little bit more? I think so. And I don't, people will say, well, they're just gouging. Not necessarily. You talk about the custom paint that they're putting in this, and then let's rewind back to, 3 minutes ago in the conversation. These are hand built.
Yeah.
Like they're not rolling down an assembly line. There is somebody hand twisting each one of these nuts and bolts on this entire car.
Yeah.
To put it together.
I assume it's the same people that are putting together the NSX because in fact there's a picture of an NSX
right behind
there. But Yeah, obviously the uniqueness of the colors. The colors are NSX colors, or I guess I guess the other PMC color in the RDX. But yeah, obviously uniqueness. But I think there's a lot of people that felt that the normal Type S TLX should have been close to 60 anyway.
I think so.
You know,
too. Yeah.
I think even at that mid 50s where the normal Type S is, honestly, and I'm not just saying this because I work here, I think that's a lot of car for the value.
Yeah, well, you start looking at what's out there, and I know people want to compare it to whatever. There's so many things you can compare it to. You can put it in a lot of different classes.
Sure.
And rightfully so. You know, there's probably BMW or Mercedes. There's probably some, different, the M series, and there's different cars that would definitely be, want to put those on the shopping list. And whether you think it compares with those or not, what almost everybody can agree on, what you get for the money in car is hard to argue with.
Yeah.
I mean, in all those versions of those cars, you're going to have to spend more money to get similar performance.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. So the fact that this is in the mid 60s, honestly, well, to be fair, I think the normal Type S is approaching 60.
Yeah, it's already had its fair share of price increases.
Exactly.
Right,
so we're almost there. If it's going to be the 64, is that including destination?
I don't know.
We are going off this article, folks. So again, we're not asked to be quoted here. We're just simply reading this.
$63,995. It does not say whether it does or not. And like I said, I don't even know where they got the information. I'm sure Acura shared this with them. I don't know if they had a date that they were allowed to share it. And
we were thinking that, well, you were saying that maybe Car and Driver, someone went to order one, and then that's how they found out the price.
Yeah, I thought maybe through the reserve tool, when you put in your deposit, it shared what the price was going to be. I don't know. I have not had anybody say.
We don't do that, so we don't do the reserve tool, so we don't know.
Yeah, so to go back, if you want to get on the list for the Long Beach Blue Pearl December 8th, you need to get on Acura.com. It is on a Thursday. It is 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 10 o'clock, is that, or 11?
It's 10 o'clock, I think, Pacific time. Yeah, so.
And you want to get on there ASAP. Like, I would start in the morning and just keep checking it, but you need to get on and put your information in. It's a $2,000 deposit to get your spot. And the other colors, both the Curva Red and the white, have sold out under an hour. I mean,
that's what I was going to ask you. Do you know how long? I didn't know that.
I think the white took a little bit longer, but both of them were under an hour.
Oh man!
And it can be. This one I think will be minutes. I mean, I think if you're not trying. I did talk to somebody that watches our show, which was nice, and he's a local guy, and he said he asked about having his family do it. Oh, and I don't know if that's the thing, but I know our Acura rep did pass that on. If they just have as many people as they can trying to get that, and he said, well, what happens if I get a couple? I said, well, I'm sure you can get a refund deposit. I mean, like, there's going to be other spots in line. They're going to go back and reconcile those things. Yeah. So.
It'll be interesting to see what happens, especially since it's the last one. Meaning those people who felt like they wanted to get on the first two, maybe are now doing that.
If you missed out on the other ones, or if you waited for the blue, you better. I would definitely hop on there and make sure you have a couple people trying. Because like I said, I think that a lot of people preferred the blue over the other colors.
Right.
Not that the other ones are bad. I like.
No, sure. Inventory, we'll kind of jump a little bit now because we wanted to make sure we covered a little bit of what was happening with our inventory situation through the month of November and maybe what the outlook looks like for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so let's talk about inventory because we have not talked about inventory in a while. And you could be listening to this for a lot of different reasons. You could just be an Acura enthusiast. Maybe you're somebody in the market for an Acura and you just kind of want to know what's going on from our perspective versus the media because they apparently get more information than we do sometimes.
Right.
But all kidding aside, Acura did come out towards the end of last month. Maybe it was the beginning of this month. I'm losing track of time here. I want to say maybe it was the beginning of November and said that their forecast of units for the last couple months of the year is going to be actually about 10,000 units lighter than they thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. And now they did say they were going to ramp up a lot. So it's kind of relative. I mean, they said They told us that the floodgates were going to open, and then they backed off that a little bit by 10,000 units. What's that mean? Well, here's where we see the dip. MDX is starting to production's starting to come along pretty good. By no means are there a lot of any of these. We're not back to any normal levels, but we're starting to see some MDX production. And I think based on what's on there, there's some decent production all the way through January or December and January.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if there's any February dates on anything there. No. So MDX looks like it's going to clip right along. Integra doesn't look like it's really too far off track. Keep in mind, though, there was not a lot of December Integra production to begin with, so there's still going to be some Integras coming in. We're still seeing some manual transmissions. It has lightened up a little bit.
Yeah.
I tried to order a bunch. I'd say half of my cars last time in manual, only got one. So we have seen some of that. We did see a base model or premium model Integra get on the production, and I know that there has been limited supply of that, but I think they're trying to start getting that going, which is good. You're not going to see tons of these, but I think there's going to be a decent supply of those. TLX, we did order some TLXs, which we haven't done in a long time. We have a couple people that have been waiting for advanced model TLX. We finally got one of the advanced we were waiting on. So we have, believe it or not, 3 people that have been waiting over a year for an advanced TLX. They finally got one of them.
Okay.
And then there's some Type S TLXs, which is really interesting because we haven't seen Type S TLXs. Well, we'll use the example of our famous blue one that's still on order, which I think now got changed to a 23. No, it's still sitting there as a 22.
Yeah.
Famous blue one that's been on order since January.
Since what?
I don't know what they're doing with that car.
Since January?
Yeah.
January.
We probably ordered that car this time last year. It's probably been ordered a year ago because it's usually 3 months out.
But they send us another blue one.
I know. There's no rhyme or reason. They did send us another blue one. Not this one, but they sent us another blue one.
We don't know.
So what's confusing about RDX and TLX is there's an identity crisis over the years. Mm-hmm. We got a 23 TLX Type S today.
Identity crisis.
Our first 23 TLX. Mm-hmm. We still have 22s on order that haven't been built, according to our production sheets. So we're not sure how that's going to look. We don't know if there's someone running down the line pulling the cord saying, wait, we still have some 22s to get it finished up here. I'm not sure how that works out. They might just change those to 22s or 23s. RDX is in the same boat. The only good news is there is some TLX production that's going to be starting. And the really good news is there's some Type S on order. There's very few Type S's on order before. Now we have probably more than we ever have.
Almost half.
Almost half of ours. And there's still some other decent Type our TLX stuff. Now RDX.
Yeah, because so here's what's interesting, right? So like not that long ago, if you're watching earlier this year, we had our lists were pretty short. We're still getting like the same amount of cars, but our lists are longer.
So yeah, I think that goes back to they anticipated a lot more production.
Right.
We ordered a lot more cars, and then they had to say, look, we can't build all those. So they shoved some of these cars into next year.
Yep.
And I think they try to make everybody feel good. Because I think that's what it does, is it just makes you, there's stuff coming, and then they move it, right?
Right.
Which is okay. I'd rather see what's coming than not see what's coming. And I think the alternative was we just didn't know, and you couldn't tell somebody what was out there.
Well, I think that's a great point, because I think from a salesperson's standpoint, you'd be like, you would not be able to like say anything to them because you had nothing concrete to be like. And
then those kind of go back, and we're getting a little off topic, but we're not.
Yeah.
Is earlier in the year when there's so limited availability of cars and there's limited stuff on order, when someone came in and said, how long is it going to be before I get one of these? It was hard to answer that question because you couldn't see out what the production was going to look like.
Right.
Here, we can see a little bit what the production is going to look like. Is it set in stone? Absolutely not. Yeah. And probably nothing anywhere is with any product.
It's probably the same as it was before, but at least it makes it feel better.
But at least we can see. And we know that if XYZ's in the system, it's probably going to come eventually, other than that one TLX. But they're all going to come eventually.
Easy,
it's just a matter of time. So we have a better idea, and they're a little more concrete. But RDX, all those dates got shoved back. We have cars that were October, November production that now have been moved to January, February. So they missed the beat on those by a couple months. And there's talk that there's still a lot of chip problems and they're having other supplier issues, and it's RDX specific. I have a twofold conspiracy theory on this one. I'll give them the chip part is a piece of it. But Honda's stealing the other part of that production, I think, is what's happening. Is, when they come out with a new product like the HR-V, built, I'm not saying that it's the same car. It's clearly a different car, and I don't even know if they're on the same platform anymore. But they run down the same line.
The CR-V?
And so they only can make so many of one, right? And they want to ramp up that CR-V because it's new model, new redesign. And they're just taking the space that takes to build the RDXs. I mean, is what's happening.
Yeah, at the end of the day, sure. And they obviously they don't want us to know that, which is fine. I get it.
But it's my 50-50 conspiracy theory. I believe that there are some supply problems, but I think the rest is just being shoved out by the bigger.
Yeah, if you have it on order out there, I mean, there's hope, but they're coming.
Yeah, they are, and we got one today, but they've been sparse. And we say we're RDX fans. Our typical business is typically 40% RDS,
right?
So we feel the pain as much as anybody.
Well, we got 6 the other day, we got 6, and then they are gone now, all of them.
Yeah.
So
it came and went very fast.
Right. So if you find one out there, you got to jump on it right away.
Yeah. If that's what you're after, and you see one, or you've spotted one out in the wild, definitely jump on it. So that's a little rundown of the production. There are still some hiccups out there. The good news is, MDX is coming along pretty good. Integras are still coming in decent. We're still seeing some stuff, so we'll stop rambling about that.
Yes.
Other news.
What's the Integra news? I think that's it.
Oh, the Integra. Did we want to update them on the Type S Integra? What you found out?
Did we find out anything?
We didn't find out anything. That's the update. Is we still don't know anything more, but there are more spy shots out there on the Type S Integra. So the unconfirmed but confirmed Type S Integra, they seem to be running all over Ohio with this car just to make sure everybody knows it's coming.
Right, exactly. I find it odd. I'm just going to throw this out there, but I find it odd that they got kind of noisy about it and they got real quiet again. Really over the past, I don't remember when they first announced what it was. But
I think that's kind of what happens. And they do, I think, they do that because they know they can't produce anything. They don't want to get people too excited because they don't want you to run to the store and wait. Right? They want you to buy something.
Right. Yeah.
So they don't want you to run and wait. So they kind of reel back in the reins a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I think this early winter we'll start to see some more chirping about.
I really thought, by the end of the year, there were some chirps about we talked about there's an SUV, a smaller SUV coming or something.
I think that's going to be a reality too. I think we're in the next, 3 or 4 months, we're going to see more details on both these.
Yeah, I think
the anticipation. People are pretty confident about this Integra Type S, being mid-year next year, and I think that's pretty realistic.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Which
they followed the exact same timeline the TLX and the MDX did, so it just makes sense. And with all the ones already seen out there in camouflage, they're definitely working on something. It's just a matter of them being able to produce but that I don't know that stopped them from releasing any other models. So
right. Yeah, exactly.
So that's exciting stuff. It did win. It was finally got tested in the IIHS
Top
Insurance
Award.
Institute Safety, and it got the top award.
Awkward, yes.
I got the awkward.
The awkward award.
And so that's gotten more competitive and harder to get than what it used to be.
Oh yeah,
and so
for sure.
It's pretty impressive that car got it.
Top Safety Pick Plus.
Yeah, got the top of top that you can get in the category, and that's cool because it's small. We tend to bundle small cars with not being safe, in our minds and over the years, and that just shows that it's as safe as anything, if not safer than most other ones in its class on the road.
Yeah, a couple other things. I just quick notes on incentives. There's still, if there's any 22 RDXs out there, there's still a little bit left on that. I don't, other than some rates, some incentivized rates, I don't know if there's really anything else out there.
MDX still has the owner loyalty, which is really, actually they increased that a little bit because they did have a price increase on the MDX, which I don't even know if we talked about because that came beginning of November.
Right. Yeah, we had to talk a little.
MDX went up $500.
Yeah.
They snuck that one in there. However, Acura did promise, or state, maybe they did promise, that it would replace the mid-model price increase. In other words, so they usually have a mid-model. During that model year, they have a price increase, and they said that this price increase would forego that next one.
Okay, good.
Which, I think they just, offset costs now. Hopefully they can make up that later.
Kind of thing, yeah.
So there was a $500. If you were waiting on MDX past November 1st, it's gone up $500.
Yeah.
Everyone that comes in. They did raise the owner loyalty, so if you have one and you qualify for that, they raised that up from what it used to be. So there's some, they're trying. I know that there could be better incentives, but like RDX, there aren't any RDXs to incentivize, so it's hard
right.
to.
Yeah, 23s unfortunately have nothing, and 20 obviously I don't think there's any more 22 MDXs out there, but that doesn't have anything on it. End of the year is winding down, so we want to make sure we got something out there, before you guys.
Yeah, we'll get some more information out. There's some other things that we do want to touch on, but we wanted to get you up to speed on where things are at. To us, we're seeing cars come in, but sometimes when you look out in the lots or you call around, there's still not much out there. I mean, I think inventory has picked up a little bit on the ground, but it's such small numbers. It still seems like there's not much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's unfortunate. We have a handful. So, different varieties of stuff, but all right. Thank you everyone so much for listening and watching. If you're watching on YouTube, I know we've put some other videos out on YouTube.
Yeah, you guys have been working hard on getting some of that out. We have some more to put out too.
Yeah, and really, again, the goal of all this stuff is to help everyone. So whether it be, with maybe trying to find out, your next car, or, maybe you got one, and that was kind of the goal of some of the other videos we put out there to make sure, hey, I just got an MDX. I don't know how to work anything. And I know I made 2-hour-long videos, one on the MDX itself, the other one on the touchpad interface, that information. So if you have a chance, check those out. And again, make sure to like and subscribe. Again, that helps keep this channel going. We like to make sure we get information out to you guys. We enjoy doing this. I know, sorry we haven't been around lately, but again, there's just things that kind of get in the way with the holidays, and you were gone for a handful of days. So.
And to Matt's point, if there's stuff that you guys want to know about the Acura from our perspective, or something that we can share because we have the vehicles here, or service, whatever it might be, definitely put it in the comments. We do read every comment. We don't always get a chance to comment to every comment, but we read every single one. And we take that and say, okay, this is what people are looking to find out information on. And
yeah, absolutely. And I did have one comment on my video. There was someone that was asking about, can they see, what was it, how long or the time was between like a trip. In the old Acuras, I know you could see like your trip time, not just like the trip odometer, but like how long the car.
It doesn't keep that information?
I couldn't find it anywhere, so I'm gonna look again.
That's a good one.
I know. But I went through the whole thing and I didn't see it anywhere. So I will double check in that. But the person who commented on that one video, I will dig into that. But to my knowledge, I don't think that it exists.
You think they got rid of it?
I think so.
I think we're going to come up with a list of all the things that went away. Yeah. Because we are, and those are little things, obviously.
Yeah, there's little things that went away.
Most people didn't even know they had it.
Yeah, right, exactly. Again, thank you guys so much. I don't know. Thank you kids so much for watching or listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.